Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel and the ongoing support in the comments. I really appreciate them. Today I'm going to do a short video on Riff Station. Riff Station is a software that supposedly when you load an MP3 file in, it'll give you the chords. Because I had someone that asked me maybe about a month ago, wow, you got a lot of videos and you do a good job. Where do you get your source of chords from? And I'm like, quite simple. Two sources, songbooks, which I can read from sheet music, and second, my ear. When I can't get to sheet music, I can determine what chord is going on. I can't stress enough as far as the importance of letting your ear develop and not allowing this new technology to handicap you and let you take shortcuts, because all you're doing is shortcutting yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking the shortcut from point A to point B, but when you get there, you're well versed in what you need to do or what you know, as opposed to you're on the other side now and half the stuff that you should have learned, you didn't learn because you took a shortcut. So I stress that. Go to a physical music teacher and let him teach you, because again, you will not learn how to play guitar watching some guy on the internet playing and watching his fingers. You know, I stressed that in my very first video that my channel is not about showing you where your fingers should go, because I'm not a teacher. And all I'm doing would be hindering your development as far as music, because you need to learn the traditional way. Find a musical teacher, physical guy or woman, sit down with them physically side by side, and they will walk you through what you need to know and correct your habits or your bad technique habits. I can't stress that enough. You know, we live in a society now where everything is kind of a shortcut. You know, we can do it in half the time, but you're only getting half the job done. But when you develop your ear, you'll start to hear. I mean, I kid you not. I can sit down and listen to a composition and hear what the drummer's doing, the fills, the crashes, the crescendos, providing it's a good mix. I can hear what the piano player's doing as far as the rhythm and the voicings. Same thing with guitar, because back in the day, there used to be like 2 guitar players in each band, and one guitar player was assigned to doing the lick part, so the chicken picking. Other one was doing the rhythm. And the way that they engineered those recordings back then, you can hear the guy in the lead picking on this side and the guy on the rhythm picking on that side. And if there was a third guitar, he's somewhat almost in the center, off center a little bit, so you can hear each one of them. So when you let your ear develop, you can hear that. That's why, and I appreciate the people that have come to me for my tabbing service. I appreciate you guys, because you want your composition to be done right. And I listen to these songs if I don't have the sheet music, and I do a pretty good job for my clients. So I can't stress that enough. But getting back to Riff Station, I downloaded a version of it, or a trial version, to listen to it, to see what was it about, to see if this software can actually do that. And it failed terribly. I loaded in 3 MP3 songs, and all of the chords were wrong. Because the question I would have is, as a machine or software, how would it know, or how would it know what instrument to tabulate? Because the guitar player could be doing one thing while the keyboard player is doing another. So which one will it decide to try to tab chords? So it's a mess. And I really don't recommend anybody that's really serious about music trying to take shortcuts and I'm going to get this software and figure out how to do the chords. Figure it out the old-fashioned way. Because I said before, the trick to tabulating songs, and in one of my DVDs that I have available for sale, and I talk about this in more detail, in the band, the bass player is the guitar player's best friend. And the reason being is, if we listen to the bass notes, the root note, as far as what the bass player is doing, we can actually determine what chords we're playing. Because, for example, if the root note in a sequence or pattern of the bass pattern, you know, because there's more than one root note. But, you know, say for instance, just for the sake of this conversation, the first root note is a G note. That means that me as a guitar player, I'm playing one of the several chords. I'm playing a G major chord, G minor 7, G7, G suspended, or G major 7. Usually, you know, unless there's some songs that are doing some diminished chords, but when you hear those, you can tell that they're not the traditional major, minor, minor 7, suspended 4, so on and so forth. So rely on that. Don't rely on that crap, the new technology that's going to make you a half-baked guitar player. As far as, you know, I'm going to load this up and listen to the parts, it's going to isolate, because it doesn't do that. It also claims that it will isolate parts as far as if you want to hit a guitar part, it'll isolate it. All it is an EQ system, and it's a poorly done EQ system where it EQs down the other frequencies of the other instruments so you can slightly hear the guitar above it, but it sounds awful. The only thing that thing is good for is slowing down tracks. Now that I will give it. You know, I loaded in an MP3 file, and it did slow down the track, but if you got a good ear, unless you listen to some super fast rock classical stuff, you can hear those notes. They're not going in that fast succession that you can't distinguish what note it is. So I thought I would put this video together for the young people, because again, this is their technology, and you know, it's just not a good idea to take shortcuts, because Riff Station is some garbage to me. Again, back in the day, these guys, they did it the old-fashioned way. They studied, they practiced, and they got better. And that will last you a lifetime, you know, if you take that route, as opposed to, I know nothing about guitar, I'm going to go on the internet and watch some guys' fingers, and I'm going to become a guitar player. You won't, you know, so I thought I would mention that. And also, I'm just going to mention this briefly. It's kind of go into the studio tales. But you know what? I'm going to leave that for another time, because that's a little more detailed, so I don't want to ramble here. The purpose of this video was to kind of give an overview of Riff Station as far as does it do what it's supposed to do. And answer to that question to me is no. It fails terribly. So on that note, I'm signing off. Take care. Thanks.